Hello guys, it's Revolution. So in this video we're going to be talking about the Prince of Saiyans, Vegeta, and here we are again, speculating over whether Vegeta will surpass Goku. I mean, in terms of surpassing Goku, he's surpassed Goku many times throughout the Dragon Ball franchise. This wouldn't be something that's out of the ordinary in surpassing Goku, but I think the thing in this particular instance that's got people really, gassed about it is that he will be surpassing Ultra Instinct Goku. Ultra Instinct, as I spoke about in another video another day, was, I don't want to say overhyped, but got overrated in a sense that it was just a completely unbeatable form, that once it was achieved, that nobody could beat Ultra Instinct. It was a misconception, and obviously it's fallen flat on its face, and I've been one of the leading people saying that this transformation, this ability, mastery of self movement, even in the fictional realms of abilities throughout comics, manga, book novels, you name it, it's a very good ability to have, and obviously it comes with a huge power up over Super Saiyan Blue, but ultimately it's not unbeatable. Even in the original Dragon Ball Super anime, we even saw Ultra Instinct Goku get hit and almost lose to an awakened Jiren who was really just using raw power and speed and tactical nous. But it's because of the reason people believed it was unbeatable that this is really causing a stir. But, Goku has achieved Ultra Instinct on multiple occasions now. He achieved it in the Tournament of Power, which was basically a fluke. It was kind of, even though it's not Ultra Instinct sign, it was almost like a sign of complete Ultra Instinct as opposed to what he has now, where he can use Ultra Instinct at will. It's now honed, it's now a lot stronger, he's trained. He can wield it properly. As we stated in the Tournament of Power, he cannot wield Ultra Instinct properly, but he can now. He can wield it properly despite the fact he's still at the bottom of the ladder, and that's important. He's at the bottom of the ladder with Ultra Instinct. But here we are with Beerus telling Vegeta that he can surpass, and I'll keep saying this because this was the whole context of that page, was that Vegeta said he will surpass Goku another way. Ultra Instinct Goku, current Ultra Instinct Goku, post Morrow Arc Ultra Instinct Goku, that he will surpass that version of Goku in his own way. Of course, at that particular point from Vegeta, it's complete bluster. He probably has no idea how he's going to go about it, but Beerus offers him the way by stating there are other godly techniques and that Vegeta can pass Ultra Instinct Goku. It's possible for Vegeta, not even Beerus, but possible for Vegeta to surpass current Ultra Instinct Goku by learning one of these techniques. We don't know what that technique is yet, we don't know what it involves, and of course there's a lot of speculation ranging from it being a similar ability to what we saw Toppo use in the Dragon Ball Super anime, where the Gods of Destructions have a kind of transformation similar to what God of Destruction Toppo was. I don't think it will be that, but I do think you could probably have a similar energy to that. And the reason I don't think it will be that is because we've seen the Gods of Destructions fight at full power in the God of Destruction Battle Royale in Chapter 28 and Chapter 29 of the Dragon Ball Super manga, and obviously whilst the overarching narrative of both the continuities of the manga and the anime of Dragon Ball Super are the same, they do have very different plot devices to get to that same narrative endpoint. Now obviously a big commotion has been caused about the fact that we saw Beerus use some sort of quasi Ultra Instinct in that God of Destruction Battle Royale. There's now debate over whether it just simply means that Beerus hasn't mastered Ultra Instinct, to the other side that say, it was more of a better version of what Roshi did against Jiren in the Tournament of Power. As I've talked about in another video before, Whis did state that Beerus simply hadn't mastered it. He didn't say he actually didn't know it. Some people call it semi-Ultra Instinct, whatever. I'm sure we're going to find out soon, but this other godly technique that he's going to either show or demonstrate to Vegeta, hopefully in Chapter 69 of the Dragon Ball Super manga, we didn't get to see exactly what it was. In that God of Destruction Battle Royale, obviously it had 12 Gods of Destructions, all very powerful, all fighting at the same time. Even the likes of Zeno couldn't keep up with this fight. That's why they didn't have a God of Destruction Tournament of Power and made it a Mortal Tournament of Power, because at the end of that, Zeno couldn't keep up. And he could keep up with Ultra Instinct versus Jiren, by the way. He couldn't keep up with the Gods of Destructions all fighting each other at once. And whilst Goku was able to keep up with the beginning of the fight when Beerus was using his quasi-Ultra Instinct, as soon as it became a scuffle, as soon as they all started to fight each other, basically most of the characters present at that time lost sight of what was really going on. So there's plenty of room to say, look, Beerus may have used this technique in that specific period of time, they just didn't show it in the manga because it was irrelevant to the story at the time. The story was leading to Ultra Instinct, and there's also the possibility that, other Gods of Destructions might have that technique and know how to cancel it out, etc. But I absolutely don't agree that we haven't seen Beerus at full power, at least at nigh full power. I absolutely don't believe it's within Beerus' character to not use his full power when requested by the Grand Priest, because he is absolutely terrified of the Grand Priest. And as you saw at the end of that Battle Royale, Beerus and Quatella, two Gods of Destruction who are probably in the same realm of power, you know, they were battered and bruised. Obviously we can only really speculate at this point. There's also the argument that Beerus opting to use Ultra Instinct was just more suited to fighting 11 people at the same time. We did see him use a very large key attack. I don't think it will be that, because that just seemed like a regular key attack, just Beerus and being super powerful. That was stated to take out 4 or 5 Gods of Destructions. And it goes without saying, you know, Beerus is hundreds of millions of years old. We don't know his exact age, we just know, at least the anime specifically pointed out that he was hundreds of millions of years old. And, you know, in that time you would imagine that he's learned many abilities and many techniques over the course of his training with Whis. So, you know, it doesn't really come as any surprise. A lot of people theorise that Beerus would have other techniques other than Ultra Instinct, etc. And then of course there's just his base raw power level, which we don't know the full extent of yet. We just know that he is comparable to a blue level fusion, and that Goku has somewhat seen his full power in that God of Destruction Battle Royale. Of course, looking back further into the past of Beerus' appearances in Dragon Ball Super, there aren't that many inclinations as to what exactly it can be. He does tend to have a God of Destruction aura, and obviously Hakai, which wouldn't really be something new in Dragon Ball Super, the manga anyway, as Goku's already demonstrated he can use the Hakai when he used it against Merge Zamasu in the Future Trunks arc. So it could be that, it could just be a greater degree of Hakai energy, etc. But I don't think they'll go for that. I think it could be that they do use Hakai energy like God of Destruction Toppo, rather than it being a transformation, just regular use of Ki or God Ki, but Hakai energy instead, and then stack Super Saiyan transformations on top, and maybe you get Super Saiyan Hakai or Super Saiyan Destroyer. They'll be aiming for something that's more stylistically what Vegeta would use, and I think it'll be the antithesis of Ultra Instinct. Ultra Instinct's about being, as Beerus puts it, calm and tranquil, and that certainly isn't Vegeta if you've followed Vegeta's history throughout Dragon Ball. In fact, it's the exact opposite. So I believe it will suit something more to do with anger and pride rather than being calm, etc. That's why we stated that Ultra Instinct wouldn't naturally suit Vegeta. That's not his normal progression. You know, this was stated quite early on, so you know, the signs were there that there were other alternatives to Ultra Instinct, even in the Tournament of Power, despite obviously the focus being on Ultra Instinct at that time. The traits you would likely level at Vegeta are things like, obviously, pride, strength, arrogance. Arrogance is probably a main one as well. So you'd be looking for a martial arts ability, because that's at the heart of Dragon Ball. That's what this is all about, it's martial arts. And they really are starting to look at techniques and even hacks abilities that martial artists could use to their advantage. And that's ultimately what was for Goku, his Ultra Instinct. That suits him. It covers his weakness of letting his guard down and being too calm. Whereas with Vegeta, he's too tense to allow him to, you know, keep track of everything that's going on around him. You could say he becomes incredibly narrow-minded, too arrogant, and ultimately that leads to his downfall on many occasions. I mean, we just had the greatest example of this when, you know, he was about to kill off Moro, and once again he didn't kill him off straight away. He let Moro talk his way out of it, use a bit of magic, escape and become stronger. And this has happened time and time again for Vegeta. So what kind of ability would suit Vegeta that a godly technique could cover? Well, I've made a theory about something called the Seikuken before. Now, this was actually referring to Jiren, because I believe Jiren, when the Tournament's Power was on in the anime, demonstrated something similar when Goku tried to attack him. As soon as Goku got within the aura of Jiren, Jiren literally blocked everything without even appearing to move. So I theorised that he could have an ability called the Seikuken. This is a martial arts ability where it's not really your aura, but it's kind of like you put a certain type of aura around you, and as soon as somebody protrudes that aura, you know exactly where they are, and you can, you know, counter it before they get to your body. It's not your body reacting on its own, it's getting intel on how the opponent's attacking you before they've even hit you. So I guess you could say it's a different type of prognostication, but I think it's a prognostication that would suit Vegeta more, because it's more about confidence and pride. Now, as the anime of Dragon Ball Super went on with the Tournament of Power, it became clear that Jiren didn't quite have the Seikuken, because, you know, he started to get hit eventually. But, you know, this is an ability, a martial arts technique that could be applied to Dragon Ball, and it would definitely have its uses. I mean, to make it more God of Destruction-like, you could add in the Seikuken with Hakai or Destruction, counter-attacks. And you know, all of a sudden it starts to become quite formidable as an ability and a technique for a martial artist, especially somebody as powerful as Vegeta. And you could definitely see how it could be able to counter something like Ultra Instinct, because it would have the ability to out-prognosticate even something like Ultra Instinct. But unlike Ultra Instinct, which ultimately forces you to react to your opponent, the Seikuken gives you time to ultimately make your own decision on what the best outcome should be. And that feeds into the whole pride of Vegeta, you know, wanting to be in complete control of himself. Obviously that's just me kind of putting an idea out there as to what it can be, because that would be a legitimate way to surpass Ultra Instinct, I guess. And you know, it really fits in with the current theme of abilities and techniques being used rather than just raw power all the time to, you know, get an advantage over your opponent. That's ultimately what Ultra Instinct is. Of course, it comes with a power-up. I've always said it's a package transformation. Some people have debated whether it's a technique or a transformation. I've always stated it's both. It's just taking a bit of a deviation from Goku's usual transformations, which are usually just power-ups. This is a package transformation. It's better than a regular transformation because you get more than just a power-up. And I think whatever Vegeta gets from Beerus is going to be very much akin to Ultra Instinct, obviously just something different. I can absolutely guarantee we'll get hair colour change with Vegeta. I do believe it will probably fit in with the Super Saiyan narrative. I don't believe Dragon Ball is ready to drop the Super Saiyan transformations yet. I think they'll either become involved with these techniques later down the line. I know Super Saiyan and Ultra Instinct are the juxtaposition of each other, but ultimately, you know, if anyone can make them work together, it's going to be Goku. And maybe Vegeta will do the same with his technique and the Super Saiyan forms down the line. We don't know what's going to happen to Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. I mean, it was kind of portrayed as a equal transformation to obviously the Kaioken in the anime. It's maybe gone in a bit of a different direction in the manga because Goku doesn't really use the Kaioken except that one occasion in the Tournament of Power where it proves to be useless. But maybe Vegeta can use Blue Evolution plus this godly technique to reach a power level or ability or combat ability higher than Goku's current Ultra Instinct. Obviously Beerus has the ability to nullify energy as well, so if you mix in something like the Seikuken with energy nullifying, it really is a great ability to have and really would counter Ultra Instincts quite magnificently. Of course guys, take it with a pinch of salt. Me adding the Seikuken into the possibilities is really just me theorising. Of course, as the thumbnail of this video states, Super Saiyan Destroyer, there's the whole concept of Vegeta not just using Godly Ki but using Destroyer Ki and turning Super Saiyan whilst using Godly Ki, which is very akin to really what Super Saiyan Blue is basically using God Ki turning Super Saiyan. You know, there's multiple ways for narrative power-ups to occur. Personally, I don't want to see Super Saiyan Destroyer because that would just be, in a sense, another plot-based power-up. I would like to see them continue with the martial arts power-ups like Ultra Instinct, but just something different for Vegeta that suits Vegeta's character a little bit more. Like even the Seikuken, I know I keep mentioning it's just my idea, it probably will be something absolutely completely different, but you know, something akin to that counters Goku's Ultra Instinct and can be used to create fun fights in the future, different fights, rather than just, you know, who can be the biggest Chad in terms of power. I think that's the way I'd like to see Dragon Ball Super go, because these characters are already stupidly powerful anyway. But let's just clear one thing up before we finish this video. Whatever Vegeta gets, yes, I do believe he will surpass Goku for a time, but let's face it, Vegeta fans, I'm one of them. Vegeta was my favourite character from Dragon Ball Z, not quite in Dragon Ball Super, but he was from Dragon Ball Z. If I had to say who was my favourite character over the whole course Dragon Ball, it would still be Vegeta. But let's face it, Vegeta is not getting the spotlight. Even if he overtakes Goku, it will be for a very short amount of time, likely only one chapter, and then Goku will find a way to surpass him again. That is just the story of Dragon Ball. I've always been okay with Goku ending the series as the strongest. I think that's what should happen. It is really, in essence, his series. But, you know, I do expect Vegeta to have longer than one chapter. But I don't think he'll get it, and I'm not going to get my hopes up. Believing this is a disease, we need to quell it, we need to quarantine and stop this Vegeta nonsense. He is there to buff up Goku, and that's what he will always be used for, as sad as it is. But, you know, I expect him to get this ability, surpass Goku, and it will cause Goku or motivate Goku to get even stronger. I expect Goku to learn other techniques as well as improving and honing his Ultra Instinct. Remember, it did say he's at the bottom of the ladder, it can get better. Goku has complete Ultra Instinct or even honed Ultra Instinct. He definitely doesn't have a perfected or mastered Ultra Instinct, which is more akin to what the Grand Priest has. Because, you know, if your Ultra Instinct has flaws, then it's not mastered or perfected, is it? It's flawed. For me, I think the interesting thing is how they explain Beerus having this technique but not seeing it in the God of Destruction Battle Royale, but you know, as I put out earlier, there's plenty of little loopholes they can use to say either he did use it in the big scuffle but no one saw, or you know, it just wasn't useful in that particular fight scenario against 11 Gods of Destructions at once. So obviously the idea of Vegeta surpassing Ultra Instinct, it really is based on current Ultra Instinct. There are arguments, and I would say even strong arguments. Whilst they are indirect, I would say there are strong arguments out there that even with Blue Evolution, it was either at the level, if not surpassed, Ultra Instinct from the Tournament of Power and the manga, with speed comparisons, Vegeta stating that Ultra Instinct won't work against Prime Morrow, despite the fact he didn't know which version of Ultra Instinct Goku was using, based on his experience of witnessing it against Jiren in the Tournament of Power, as well as other things. For example, Piccolo stating that Goku, he doesn't know if Goku's the strongest he's ever been, despite him being able to sense the opponents Goku's facing. But after undergoing spirit control training on Yardrat, using Super Saiyan Blue Evolution at will, we don't know if he ever couldn't use it at will, but you know, he used it at will against Prime Morrow with Force Spirit Fission. Goku did state that Vegeta had surpassed him and that he would need to surpass Vegeta as well. And obviously at that point, Goku was able to use Ultra Instinct Sign at will. And that's not just the Ultra Instinct Sign we saw in the Tournament of Power, that was a fluke. This is an Ultra Instinct Sign that's been trained, honed, and is now stable. The fact that Vegeta's done it before, there's no reason why he couldn't do it again. And, you know, I think that's where the story's leading. Maybe he'll only equal Goku. Goku is at the bottom of the ladder, and obviously Goku's going to improve. So, you know, maybe by the time Vegeta's learned this technique, you know, Goku might have already improved to the point where Vegeta can't surpass him with Ultra Instinct. I do believe perfected Mastered Ultra Instinct at the level of Grand Priest is probably seen as the end game for Ultra Instinct being the ultimate power to have. But, you know, Goku's nowhere near that yet. Anyway guys, let me know your thoughts on this down in the comment section. I look forward to reading your theories and your comments. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new or you like and enjoy my content. Keep smashing that like button, keep lending the Daishinken your energy. Until next time, Ad Astra.